Hey everybody, it's Todd Bishop and John Cook here in full Yinzer mode at GeekWire HQ2 at Beauty Shop Co-working in Pittsburgh's Lawrenceville neighborhood. We are here for the whole month as part of our special HQ2 project. We wanted to give you a few highlights of one of the highlights of our week, which was sitting down with Pittsburgh Mayor Bill Peduto. John, what were your impressions of the mayor?
Well, I think the first thing that stood out was just how he welcomed us with open arms. I think one really fun moment for us as journalists, we were sitting there and his aide came in and said, "Oh, hey, Mayor, you got to take a break here." And the CEO of PNC Bank, you have that call scheduled. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, okay." And then he said, "If you guys just can hang around for 5 minutes, take a tour of the City Hall and see some of the history here, come on back after that. I can finish this up real quick." And so that was really kind of a fun thing. I think it really spoke to his personality of someone who really wanted to welcome us to his community and show off his community and what it's about. And so that really spoke volumes. The other thing that really stood out is he's kind of a geek. He's very tech savvy. He really believes that the innovation economy is the future economy of Pittsburgh, and he's betting big on this. And I think you saw that in terms of some of his knowledge of what's really happening, even inside places like Carnegie Mellon, Pitt, Robotics Row here. He's well in tune with the tech community here.
He really is. And of course, the major topic of the day, of the week, of the year here in Pittsburgh as it relates to technology is Amazon's HQ2 and Pittsburgh's spot on the list of 20 finalists for that $5 billion, 50,000 employee prize. Let's listen in now to a little bit of what Mayor Peduto had to say on that topic.
So what do we offer Amazon that would be different? We offer them the opportunity to partner with us, to be able to see greater civic good come from the investment. I think if Amazon wants to change the narrative that has occurred within Seattle, if they wanted to really be able to show to the world how their investment can benefit a community in the whole, if they want to be able to, in particular, be able to raise up the underserved and those that have been given no ladder of opportunity for a new economy, then they would look at Pittsburgh beyond any other city, because we did it.
All right, John, so that was Pittsburgh Mayor Bill Peduto during our interview this week. What did you think of his assessment of Amazon's corporate values and its intentions with this new corporate campus?
There was really a disconnect, I think, between what Mayor Peduto believes Amazon represents and what Amazon truly is.
At least in our hometown. Now, that is the thing. Amazon in Seattle has acted in a way that is very inconsistent with the way it portrays itself in the HQ2 RFP. And I think a lot of these cities out there, Pittsburgh included, have bought into the narrative that Amazon is presenting, which, to be fair, could very well be how it plays out. Amazon may well have changed its ways here, or may well be planning to change its ways when they choose their HQ2 city. But the reality is it's not what we've seen over the last decade in Seattle. There's been a disconnect between Seattle's city leadership and Amazon's corporate leadership.
Yeah, and that really played out in the discussion with Mayor Peduto. At one point, it was very interesting. We were having a conversation, and he seemed to get confused in terms of Amazon and Jeff Bezos' position versus the Washington Post, referencing the Washington Post, which Jeff Bezos obviously is the owner of, but looking at the opinion page of the Washington Post kind of as a proxy for what Amazon believes or what Jeff Bezos believes. And that's not necessarily the case.
I really do think he has great intentions here in the city of Pittsburgh in terms of using a company like Amazon to try and return this city to growth mode.
And ideally, this is what you would want to happen. You would want a city to work really, truly in partnership with a community that has been battered and bruised like Pittsburgh, but has a lot of great technological assets at the ready. That's what you would want. You would, and at one point, I think during the interview, I stopped and said, in theory, this is actually sounds great. Our impression, and maybe we're jaded Seattle journalists at this point, but it just hasn't been the way it's played out in Seattle, and you have to wonder what the true motive is of Amazon. But if Pittsburgh can pull this off, and I think there are a lot of strong factors going in Pittsburgh's favor in terms of the technology base coming out of places like Carnegie Mellon and University of Pittsburgh, the amount of land capacity that's here, a great city, really a beautiful city with a lot of amenities. It's got a small town feel, but a lot of big city amenities. There's a lot going in favor here, and I think if Amazon could get on the same page in terms of finding a community partner that wanted to do some of the things that Mayor Peduto wants to do in terms of making sure this is an equitable HQ2, then it seems like this would be a fantastic place for it to occur.
I agree. I think it would be a great story to cover at the very least. And one of the cool things is, if it did happen, we would be here in Pittsburgh in terms of our understanding of this community, just based on what we're going to be doing over the next month. Now, you can follow all of our HQ2 coverage, our GeekWire HQ2 coverage from Pittsburgh at geekwire.com/HQ2. You can check out the article that we wrote based on our interview with Mayor Bill Peduto. As we said, GeekWire is here all month in Pittsburgh covering the technology scene, much as we've covered the tech scene in Seattle for the past 7 years and beyond. John, one last note. We had a great welcome party. We had more than 200 people out at Birchmere Ventures in the Strip District here in Pittsburgh, and it was a blast.
It was a blast. There's a really great cross-section here of entrepreneurs, innovators, startup CEOs, and they were out in full force. We had a great time. We have more stories than we know what to do with, and we're going to be covering them here for the next month. We're looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So a big thanks to Birchmere Ventures, to the Pittsburgh Technology Council, to Carnegie Mellon University for helping put that event on. Also, a big thanks to our sponsors, K&L Gates and DQE Communications, for making this special GeekWire HQ2 project possible. Until next time, I'm Todd Bishop.
And I'm John Cook.
We'll talk to you next time from GeekWire HQ2 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.